It's been 8 months since the reveal trailer for Pokémon Legends Z-A. And ever since that first trailer, fans have been speculating what the starters for this game could be. And today, we might finally have the answer. Now this of course comes as part of the Pokémon Terra leak, but strangely enough this information comes from a leak regarding future Pokémon World Championships, which in case you don't know, is a yearly tournament hosted by Pokémon where trainers from all around the world compete in the video games and trading card game to determine who the greatest trainer of that year is. And each Pokémon World Championship has a unique theme, usually based around the city or country that hosts the tournament for that year. But what we really need to take a look at here are the actual Pokémon that they use in these promotional artworks, because this is what will give us the biggest hint as to what the Legends Z-A starters could be. So here it is, the key art for the 2025 Pokémon World Championships, where you can see Chespin, Fennekin, and Faroki. And you might be thinking to yourself, why the heck would this random artwork for a World Championship mean that these are the starters for Legends Z-A? Well, in almost all the previous Pokémon World Championships, the key art features Pokémon from the latest main series title to release. The first World Championship after Scarlet and Violet had the Paldean starters. The Galarian starters were featured in 2022, but that's only because the tournament immediately after Sword and Shield was canceled due to COVID. And the World Championship following the release of Pokémon Sun and Moon also had the Alolan starters. But interestingly enough, there was never a key art featuring the Kalos starters. The 2014 World Championship, which would have been the first one after Pokemon X and Y released, actually features Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y instead of the Kalos starters. And in the 2015 World Championship, you can see the key art actually featured the Hoenn starters because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire would have been the latest game released. So it is kind of weird that the Kalos starters never got to be in a key art for a tournament. That is until now, of course, where we have the leaked key artwork for the 2025 tournament, the one that would be taking place next year, I'm assuming in the summer, which brings me to another very important revelation this key art potentially gives us, and that is the release date of Pokémon Legends Z-A. Now, the actual date that the 2025 World Championship will take place hasn't been announced yet. Oh wait, never mind. It's gonna be in August in Anaheim, California, which means that Legends Z-A will likely release before August. And that actually matches up with one of the hints Riddler Q tweeted a bit ago, that the original launch window of Legends Z-A will be between A and J. Some people were a little confused if this meant August to January, but now we know this definitely means April to June or July, meaning the game is going to release at some point in or around the summer of 2025, assuming there's no delays, of course. But I feel like at this point, if there were delays, then they'd have to change a lot more than just the game. Now, some of you might point out the fact that the Legends Arceus starters have never been featured in any of the World Championship artwork. And this sort of goes back to the London World Championship I mentioned that was delayed due to COVID, because 2022 would have been the World Championship right after Legends Arceus released. But as we know, those Pokemon weren't actually allowed to be transferred over into Scarlet and Violet until way later. I think actually the most recent World Championship, which still didn't feature any of the Legends Arceus starters, so of course, there are many arguments you could make, like the fact that Legends Z-A takes place in Kalos, so that could be the single reason why they're putting the Kalos starters here. Or the fact they never got to be in the 2014 or 2015 key art. Maybe they're finally just giving them the chance to be featured on a World Championship artwork. But another point I wanted to bring up in favor of these actually being the starters is Mega Evolution. Since that's like one of the few things that's confirmed for Legends Z-A is that Mega Evolutions are coming back, and at least according to the leaks, there will be new Mega Evolutions too. So it's very likely that the Kalos starters will be getting Mega Evolutions in Legends Z-A, and at least to me, that kind of makes it more likely that they could be the starter Pokemon, because of course in Hisui, the starters ended up having their new regional forms, the Hisuian forms of Typhlosion, Decidueye, and Samurott. But it could be that in Legends Z-A, instead of new regional forms, we'll just get new Mega Evolutions. And I know that might be a little bit boring or disappointing or just downright lazy to some people. But we already know how crunched for time Game Freak have been with the recent games, and it kind of feels like they could make Mega Evolution the single big thing for this game. In which case, I could see the Kalos starters returning as the starters in Z-A if they want to highlight these new Mega Evolutions rather than creating new regional forms for other starters. Of course, personally, I would much prefer if we got a mixed bag of starters from different regions like we did back in Legends Arceus. I even spent hours on stream speculating on what the starters could be based on like possible French inspirations and I don't know, just which ones I thought would be cool to get regional forms. But another popular theory I've been seeing is that instead of the past like in Legends Arceus, Legends Z-A might just take place in the near future. And this isn't just because of the weird cyberpunk aesthetic of the trailer, but because of how it could explain new Mega Evolutions existing in this game. Back in Pokemon X and Y, the reason why there weren't too many Mega Evolutions yet, at least according to Professor Sycamore, is that it was a recently discovered phenomenon. Even though I think in ORAS, we learned about the Mega Rayquaza that's supposedly been around since like ancient times, so there's always the chance Pokemon just retcons it or basically forgets about the story of X and Y and ORAS and just makes up some new explanation that Mega Evolutions have been around for thousands of years or something. But it might make a little bit more sense or just be easier to explain that the new Legends Z-A game actually takes place a couple years after X and Y, and therefore more Mega Stones and more Mega Evolutions have been discovered, including the Mega Evolutions for Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. I guess my biggest question regarding Legends Z-A is how it will work in competitive battling, because if the 2025 World Championship is featuring, the Kalos starters, that pretty much implies that Legends Z-A Pokemon will be playable or usable in the next World Championship. So does that mean Pokemon Legends Z-A will have online battles? Because they can't have Mega Evolutions in Scarlet and Violet, or at least not at the same time as Terastallization, I assume. I'm so confused. This key art right here is breaking my mind, bro. I feel it has so many more implications than just the fact that these could be the starters for the game. And really, in the end, it just means Pokemon needs to drop another trailer, bro. I'm kind of curious, when the second trailer for Legends Arceus came out, damn, almost 6 months from the first Legends Arceus to the second trailer, and then another 6 months from the second trailer until the release date. So I guess to end the video on a positive note, we might just be getting a Legends Z-A trailer finally before the end of the year, because that would put it around the 6-month to release window. I don't know, man. I mean, I definitely would rather see a mixed bag of starters with regional forms, plus also the Mega Evolutions for the Kalos starters, but I hate to admit it, but knowing Pokemon, I feel that they would be spreading themselves a bit too thin trying to do both regional forms and new Mega Evolutions. So in the end, I do think it's pretty likely that the Kalos starters will just be the starters for Legends Z-A, but as long as the Mega Evolutions are dope, honestly, I think I'll be okay. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited, disappointed, or somewhere in between? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you guys enjoyed.